the most feared torture device in the galaxy, has never failed. It broke Admirals. It shattered entire species. Then they put a human inside. -40, -60, -80. And she just looked up and said, "Can you make it colder?" That's when the aliens realized and they chose the wrong species to threaten. The Krevthar Ascendancy called it the Crucible. Commander Elias Wren had heard the stories. Diplomats reduced to sobbing children, admirals who'd faced solar storms and neutron bombardments without flinching. Broken in hours. The Krevthar, with their four-chambered hearts and crystalline exoskeletons, had perfected psychological warfare through temperature manipulation. Their interrogation chamber could plunge to temperatures that made bone marrow crystallize while keeping subjects conscious through neural stimulation. And they'd captured Cadet Johanna Graves during a routine patrol near Titan's rings. A warning, they said. A demonstration of what awaited humanity if Earth didn't surrender its new quantum fold drive, the device that could collapse light years into seconds, making Sol Systems' defenses meaningless. The Krevthar High Inquisitor Zalkareth watched through polarized viewing panels as technicians sealed the human in the crucible. She was young, barely 20 standard cycles, wearing only regulation thermal undergarments per protocol. "Begin at -40, Zalkareth commanded, his voice harmonizing through dual vocal chambers. "Standard deterioration curve." The temperature plummeted. Frost crystallized on the chamber walls. Neural monitors showed elevated stress responses, accelerated heartbeat. Normal. Predictable. Then the human spoke. "Is this it?" Graves rubbed her bare arms, her breath misting. "I grew up in Svalbard Colony. We hit -50 during summer storms." Zalkareth's secondary eyes narrowed. Humans exaggerated under duress. It was documented. -60. The frost thickened. Most species would be experiencing cellular damage, cognition failure. The human did jumping jacks. "Seriously, though," she called out, "do you have like a setting between brisk autumn and actual torture? Because this is basically December back home." Something cold uncoiled in Zalkareth's thorax, and it wasn't the chamber's ambient leak. -80, maximum setting. The temperature gauge bottomed out. Ice formations spiraled across every surface. The human should be dead, should be frozen solid. Instead, Johanna Graves sat cross-legged on the chamber floor, her eyes closed, breathing steadily through her nose. "Oh, that's better," she said. "Reminds me of ice fishing with my dad. You know, before you glass the colony." Zalkareth's mandibles locked. The Svalbard colony. They'd orbital bombarded it 3 months ago to demonstrate Krevthar resolve. 30,000 humans, an acceptable military calculation. He hadn't considered survivors. "Explain," Zalkareth demanded, "how you're not dead." Graves opened her eyes. They were the color of glacial ice and twice as hard. "You studied us, right? Did your homework before the war? Checked where we lived, what we ate, how we bred?" "Extensively." "Did you check where we evolved?" She stood, apparently unbothered by the -80 hellscape. "Earth went through ice ages multiple times, and the ones who survived weren't the strongest or smartest. They were the ones who could endure when the world itself became hostile." Zalkareth pulled up human evolutionary data. His tertiary heart stuttered. Multiple glaciation periods, survival in Arctic conditions, brown adipose tissue, metabolic adaptation. How had the intelligence division missed this? "You built your empire in the warm dark between stars," Graves continued, approaching the viewing panel. "Your species never faced winter, never had to burn your own fat to stay alive, never developed the ability to suffer and keep moving. One human's tolerance means nothing," Zalkareth said, but his voice harmonics betrayed uncertainty. Your fleet is already here. The station's warning klaxon screamed. On tactical displays, Erzalkareth watched 40 human vessels materialize from Quantum Fold, inside the Krevthar defensive perimeter. Impossible. The Fold drive needed massive power signatures. They should have detected the buildup. "Negative 200 degrees Kelvin," Graves said quietly. "That's what deep space runs. Your ships are climate-controlled, heated, comfortable. Ours?" She smiled, and it was colder than the Crucible ever managed. "We stopped heating non-essential sections 6 months ago. Learned to operate in conditions that would kill your entire crew." The human fleet opened fire, not with weapons, with focused quantum fold fields. Zalkareth's flagship, the Eternal Burning, simply vanished. Then another. 12 capital ships folded into spaces between spaces, crushed by dimensional collapse. When the remaining Krevthar vessels tried to scatter. Too slow, too warm, too alive. "You wanted to break us with cold," Graves said as emergency teams breached the Crucible. "But cold is where we're from. It's in our bones, our blood, our history. You can't torture us with our own home." Earth's rescue team found Zalkareth frozen in his command center, ice crystals forming on his crystalline carapace as life support failed. His last thought, preserved in neural records, was simple. "We chose the wrong fear." Commander Wren pulled Graves from the Crucible, wrapped her in thermal blankets she didn't need. "How many?" she asked. 43 ships, he said quietly. Their entire sector fleet, gone. Graves nodded, staring at the ice still clinging to her skin. She thought of her father, of fishing through frozen lakes under aurora lights, of 30,000 voices silenced by fire from above. The Krevthar had tried to teach humanity fear through cold. Instead, they learned that some species don't fear the dark and frost. Some species were born in it. What would you do if your greatest weakness was someone else's evolutionary advantage? Drop your thoughts below and do not forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.